Hi, it's Loretta Christensen, and I just got a call from Sean Kanan because of the inclement weather we're having here in Palm Springs area in Los Angeles, that he's having to postpone this interview until tomorrow. I'm in the process of getting dressed. I already have my makeup on, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to duplicate this exact look tomorrow because I feel like I'm looking awfully pretty right now, and so I'm not very happy with him. You know, these soap opera people just think who the hell they are. Anyway, I hope Garrick doesn't come back because he doesn't even know that I'm using his house. Fasciana invited me here while he's away. I just thought of that. What if he comes back tomorrow? Oh dear, I just don't know what I'm gonna do. Anyway, we'll just have to figure it out.
We're live in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk with
Loretta Christensen. Hello, I'm Loretta Christensen. Our guest today is Sean Kanan. You may know him as Deacon Quartermain. He played a general on Restless Hospital.
I played A.J. Quartermain on General Hospital, wasn't a general. And then I played Deacon Sharp on The Bold and Beautiful. It's easy to...
You weren't a general?
Unfortunately, no. Hey, look, at best a colonel.
Well, anyway, he was on a soap opera. And his lovely sidekick, Jill Lieberman.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, sure. So you didn't play?
The character's name was A.J. Quartermain. He wasn't a general, he was an alcoholic, and then the other character was Deacon Sharp, so you kind of put those two together.
Well,
that's all right.
Well, excuse me. Anyway, I didn't realize that, but I'm impressed anyway. So, anyway, what I want to know is more about your sidekick here, Jill.
How did she become my sidekick? She's my partner. She's not my sidekick. How do you know I'm not her sidekick? Maybe I'm her sidekick.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm wearing tights under these pants. Who knows? Could be.
Well, anyway, could you tell me something about her?
Sheila and I met about 15 years ago when she was doing her first book, which was called American Pride, and I was in that book. And Jill called me about a year and a half ago to wish me happy birthday. And by the time we got off the phone, we were writing partners. And for the book we wrote, we haven't seen each other in 15 years. We saw each other for the first time in New York about 5 days ago. We put this whole book together through emails and texts and phone calls.
Well, isn't that something? I just can't imagine that many years span.
Yes, yes.
So were you happy when you got back together again?
Well, you tell me. Yes, very happy. It was incredible. Sean, we met in New York, so we reunited up north on East Coast, and Sean walked in, we met at a diner, and it was really, for me at least, like we had.
It was great.
Yeah.
Well, is this the first book that they co-authored together? Would you know anything about that? Is this the first book?
We co-authored it. Yes, it's our first book co-authored together.
Together.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now, how do you do that? How do you compile a book that other people wrote things in? How do you do that?
It's interesting that you say compile, because we don't say that we authored this. Jill and I both wrote forwards and afterwards and our own submissions in it, but the real authors of the book are the participants in it. There's 50 people, we're 2 of them, so there's 48, and they all wrote submissions for the book, so they're the real authors.
Well, that's awfully nice of you to give them credit.
It's a legal thing, I know.
Well, I tell you what, I was very impressed with the list that just went on and on and on of all these very famous people that contributed to this book. I am just amazed, and I wrote this note down here so I could remember it. I'm just amazed that George Costanza is in your book, because I just remember him as a loser. He was in the hospital when his mom was in there, and she shared a room with this woman, and they wheeled his mother out for some sort of test, and he was watching the orderly give her a sponge bath through the curtain that you could see the silhouette, and he was getting all excited, and then they wheeled the mother back in, and she said something like, "You're just treating that body like it's an amusement park." And I was just surprised when I was reading about your book that you would include someone like that. It just makes me think the world's gone nuts.
Okay, so George Costanza is not in the book.
Well, I think, no.
Jason Alexander, who plays George Costanza on Seinfeld, is in the book. One's a character, one's the actor.
Oh, that's his name, Jason Alexander. Oh, I've always just known him as George Costanza. Well, silly me. And you know, there's another gentleman that you have in this book that is just amazing. I think he owns some sort of a team. But he's on that show Flipper, where they have people come in with their business ideas and they start talking about how they need seed money.
Yeah, it's not Flipper though, it's called Shark Tank.
Shark Tank.
Shark Tank. He's a shark on Shark Tank.
Oh, okay. Well, it's all about fish anyway, so they all poop in the ocean. Is there anyone else that just really stood out to you in this book that seems like it's amazing that they've made the comeback from like almost like rags to riches? Are there some of those people in this book?
I think the backstory kind of categorizes Sarah Blakely, who invented Spanx. So she sold...
I know all about that. I know all about that.
You and me both. So she used to sell fax machines, and then she took the law exam, the LSAT, twice and failed it twice, and then she created Spanx. So in some ways I'm not sure it was rags necessarily to riches, but it was a lot of things didn't work out.
We can use it as a metaphor.
Okay, thank you.
Well, that's just amazing. So she failed at this thing and then made success of this thing.
Right.
That's a good lesson for everybody.
It is.
Well, so now I know you have some local people here.
You do, really.
I think you have someone that I know, Tristan Rogers. He played Apollo. I think he was an astronaut in General Hospital. Was that Tristan Rogers?
Tristan played Robert Scorpio. And yeah, we're very happy to have Tristan. You know, he's a good friend. Dimitri James, who's the CEO of Skin Cosmetics.
Yes, I know all about those cosmetics. I've seen
right.
I've seen them on those shows where you watch and buy stuff.
You and me both, sister.
Mm-hmm.
And Kimberlyn Brown, who was one of the co-stars I worked with on Bold and Beautiful.
Right. She ran for Congress.
She did indeed. Yes. And Andrew Niderman, who is an incredibly respected author. He wrote Devil's Advocate.
I know Andrew.
Numerous
He's a
books.
lovely man. He
Lovely
always
man.
has those beautiful little fedora hats on. He's such a handsome man. Well, if he wasn't married, I might try and snatch him up. So is there anyone else that stood out in the book that you want to talk about? Because there's just so many that I was trying to figure out who's more interesting than the other person, and I just couldn't figure it out.
It's a good mix.
Some of the people that are really interesting in the book are not people who are household names. I mean, we've got a lot of people in the book that are going to be readily recognizable to the audience. And then we've got some interesting people. One that comes to mind is a fellow named Jay Dobbins. And Jay is a retired alcohol, tobacco, and firearms agent. And he went undercover. He went undercover and single-handedly took down a chapter of the Hells Angels. And when you see him, he looks like an outlaw biker. You know, he's big, he's bald, he's got a crazy dyed blonde beard and tattoos and rings, and he is an American hero. He also has a best-selling book called No Angel, about his experience taking down the chapter of the Hells Angels.
Well, he might be an American hero, but he doesn't sound like a man I'd be going after.
With Jerry Springer, Susan Lucci.
Susan Lucci, I always watched her from the time I was a very young lassie. I would watch her. I think that show started in 1970 she was on.
And I forgot another local luminary from Palm Springs, our dear friend Jimmy Starr was gracious enough. He wrote a beautiful foreword to the book.
Great job.
So Palm Springs is such a special place. You know that. And my wife Michelle and I have really made this our home. And it's so nice to have been able to involve friends of ours from Palm Springs in this book project. So it's very special.
And there are a lot of wonderful people here in Palm Springs.
Indeed.
And we hope that Jill returns to Palm Springs.
It's her first time.
It is my first visit.
Is it really?
Yes.
I've been here a few times. I'm from Tallahassee.
The Panhandle.
Sort of.
Okay.
But anyway, I like Palm Springs. I might have to figure out how I could buy a house here. I was watching one of your interviews, and you said something, Sean, about people walking into a room and emanating a certain charisma. Do you remember that?
I do. I think somebody asked me what the success factor X is. And I said it's sort of an indescribable quality that people have, and you can't always articulate what it is, but when you see it, you know it. It's like that old joke when somebody says, you know, I don't know if porno or not, but when I see it, I recognize it. You ever heard that old one?
Yes, I have.
Okay, maybe I just botched
I've been
it.
around the block. So I have heard that. But now I think this one here is one of those that emanates that charisma.
Absolutely.
It's a good, important quality for a sidekick.
That's a whole nother show. I didn't even know. But you know what? I think that this book is probably one of the best gifts that you could ever share with a young person. I remember when I was young, I had a mentor, Anita Bryant. And I think that's, I was serious. I had a mentor, Anita Bryant, and she was kind of taken away from us because of whatever. But anyway, I'm not going to go into that. But, you know, come to think of it, nowadays, if I didn't have Anita, I would certainly like to have this book, Success Factor X. And I think it would be a perfect gift if you have a grandchild or a child or a cousin or an aunt or just a friend. I think it's the perfect gift for them, because if they don't have a mentor, the book can become their mentor. Well, in conclusion, I just want to say to both of you, I know it takes a lot of testicular fortitude to bring a project like this to fruition. And I'm just so happy that you're both here today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's very kind of you, Howard.
So the book that we're talking about today is Success Factor X. Did I say that right? Success Factor X. And it is available on Amazon. But there's also going to be, if you're in the Palm Springs area, a book signing at Just Fabulous, which is actually Just Fabulous. It's a lovely store on North Palm Canyon Drive. That's Saturday from 12 to 2. Just Fabulous, to get your signed autograph of the X Factor. Success X Factor. Factor X Success. Success Factor X.